In the summer of 2010, the London to Syria 2010 team organized and conducted a charity ride from London to Damascus in aid of SOS Children's Charity in Syria. The journey was a success, and over £8,000 were raised. Anwar and I, Alexis, then decided to organize and conduct another challenge, this time from London to Dubai, in aid of UNICEF's Pakistan Flood Children's Appeal. But the project was soon hit by the passing away of one of its key members, John Blackman, and the political situation in the Middle East, making riding to Dubai extremely difficult. It was then decided to ride to Casablanca instead. Days before departure, my motorcycle had a major breakdown, with not enough time to wait for spare parts to arrive. As my motorcycle is out of service, I will be hiring a Yamaha XT660Z from Jua Nuruddin at agadirmotors.com to travel from Agadir to Casablanca via Marrakech and Safi. On the first day, we ride the 250 kilometers from Agadir to Marrakech. Breakfast at the hotel, and the Barakar company provides excellent and expert information on attractions along the route. After picking up the motorcycles from the garage, the journey to Casablanca and back starts, which will cover 1,000 kilometers and take 4 days. But what about the motorcycle I'm riding? All throughout the trip, its rugged, functional, dual-purpose character was proven to me, and its liquid-cooled 4-valve, 4-stroke single-cylinder engine was powerful enough to tackle every challenge. The 23-litre tank also reduced the need for looking for petrol stations and provided me with enough confidence to cover long distances in one go.
The XT660Z Tenere has also been an amazing motorcycle, and the only thing that I would fault is maybe that the side stand is a bit too long.
Using a hire company also provides the opportunity to test new motorcycles, which one may consider buying in the future, or just have an interest in to see how they perform in everyday situations. This 4-day ride also allows us to get used to it and see if it actually meets one's expectations and requirements. I must say I'm also quite impressed with the XT660Z Yamaha Tenere, and I've been thinking about getting another motorcycle this year as my XT660 is starting to show signs of wear and tear and age. I've been thinking about a Suzuki V-Strom or a Triumph Tiger. I quite like the idea of having a motorcycle with tubeless tires, as in case of a puncture it's easier to fix. But I think I really like the XT660, the XT660Z Tenere so much that I might drop the idea of having tubeless tires and stick with tube tires. With breakdown services being quite good in Europe, many other countries, I think I might manage somehow. Much of Morocco is mountainous, with the Atlas Mountains in the south and the Rif Mountains in the north. The Atlas form the backbone of the country, from the southwest to the northeast. Most people live in the north, while the south is sparsely inhabited, which is perfect for the ride. I was also amazed at how clear the roads here are, and the driving here is very considerate. Just the occasional car and lorry, so there is no stress whatsoever. And the types of landscapes change rapidly as well. And the most amazing thing is, a short while ago I was riding through mountains, and now, all of a sudden, I'm in a desert. Other motorcyclists also occasionally pass by, so Morocco really is a top destination for riders from Europe to experience something completely new. And it's so close as well. Brilliant. Coming into Marrakech now, an excellent day's riding, not arriving too late, so the city can still be explored. Marrakech is a city of 1 million inhabitants and is located next to the Atlas Mountains. The name has Amazigh origins and probably means land of God. It was founded roughly in 1070 in neutral territory next to the Tensift River in order to rule over the tribes in the region. Today it is a cultural center and inhabited by artists and celebrities of the West, and serves as a location for filming. So finally arrived in Marrakech after having ridden all the way from Agadir. It was a good ride. The Koutoubia Mosque is the largest mosque in Marrakech, and the name historically comes from it being surrounded by booksellers, and the tower is 69 meters high. Trying out the Marrakech street soup despite my very sensitive stomach. Let's hope all goes well. Tastes fine to me. Moroccan food is considered to be the most diverse in the world due to the influence from the outside. It is mainly Berber and Moorish in nature, and spices are used frequently, such as saffron and mint. Meats such as chicken, beef and lamb are also an important element, and then also couscous, dates and various desserts and milkshakes. Moroccan art is influenced by Islam, Judaism and Christianity, which left their mark on the local artifacts and handicraft. Painting, sculpture, music and filmmaking also flourish in Morocco, and the country has made preserving its heritage and diverse cultural legacy a priority. Islamic art dominates, but other art forms are given a chance to express themselves as well. On the second day, we ride from Marrakech to Casablanca, again roughly 250 kilometers. Casablanca is the largest city in Morocco and also the main harbour. The population is nearly 3 million, and it is also the economic and business centre of Morocco. Day 3, and we are headed from Casablanca to Safi. Along the way lies a city with a river passing through it, and it is time for another stop. And it's in places like this where you get to see what the real rural Morocco looks like. Nice villages along the riverside, very quaint. And even on the countryside you see that Morocco really invests in its infrastructure. But the problem with many stops is that important travel time is lost, and one ends up being late and worries about reaching Safi before sunset. But how often does one come to Morocco? So one takes the risk and enjoys as much of the attractions and scenery as possible, like this beach. Morocco is also a place where one can do lots of off-roading, and I've come here to the beach where I can ride on sand. While it was great to hire a motorcycle, I am more worried than others of dropping and damaging it, as it is not my own. A bit nervous that it's not really my motorcycle and I'm a bit worried about dropping it. But hire bikes, despite all their downsides, allow one to experiment with something completely new. Evening sets in, and it is now high time to complete the last 60 kilometers to Safi. A car and motorcycle accident on the way remind of how careful one must be while riding these roads, especially at night. And then finally, arrival in Safi. After a courageous night ride, sheep's brain and head, Safi style is on the menu. Never again. Safi has a population of around 300,000. It is the main fishing port and also provides cultural artifacts, textiles and phosphates. It is also one of the oldest cities in Morocco, probably founded by the Carthaginians. Just left Safi, and this is the scene that awaits us. Nice, brilliant coastal road with lots of brilliant scenery and beaches. A feast for the eye. On the road to Essaouira, a historic city which dates back many centuries. It was important for the exporting of sugar and molasses and was also used by pirates. It's been donkey's years since I last rode a camel, and so I'll take the opportunity to ride one just outside Essaouira. Riding a camel, getting an almost bird's eye view of the brilliant city of... keep getting lost. Where are we now? Essaouira. Most camels today are domesticated, but did you know that they actually originated from America and, like the horse, came to Africa and Asia via Russia? You have to get it off differently. It's got one camel power instead of 50. Camels today provide milk and meat for the nomads, and the numbers today across North Africa and Arabia is estimated to be 14 million. The modern city was only built in the 18th century by a rival king who wanted to create competition for Agadir. It later became the main seaport of Morocco in the 19th century, and today is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It also remains one of the main fishing ports. Essaouira to this day attracts tourists from all over the world. Some return and settle here, making it a city of modern culture with art galleries and music festivals. There's also lots for tourists to see and do here, and shops full of handicrafts and souvenirs. The signboarding in Morocco is also very good when you get into situations where maybe the map is not enough. And then the locals, when you ask them, they're also always very friendly to help. Arriving back in the area of Agadir, one is rewarded with a magnificent mountain view of the coast. My last day in Morocco, and I plan to ride to the ruins near Mirleft via Aglu Plage. It is the morning of my last day of riding in Morocco, so I decided to make the most of it by getting up early. The hotel owner asked me to park in the courtyard for a change, and so pushing the Tenere through the hotel lobby reminds me of the tales and pictures of all those other travellers who parked their motorcycles in hotel receptions. Today's aim is to get to the ruins on the Atlantic coast, so let's hope I make it at least today. The traffic is clear, but I've developed a flat tire on the back, right outside a tire shop and motorcycle mechanics. What a coincidence. It is the first time I ever had a flat tire on a motorcycle ever in all my riding years, and I hope that this will not delay me too much. The mechanic takes the wheel off first, and I carry it to the tire shop next door where the inner tube is taken out and the nail is removed. I'm surprised at its length, and the tire fitter gets to work. First he applies glue and pieces of old inner tubes and rubber to patch the hole. Then puts the tire into a press to ensure the patch holds and becomes one with the tire, and then puts the inner tube back into the tire and inflates it. The tire is then taken back to the mechanic, who puts it back on the motorcycle. All in all, I pay the equivalent of £2.80 to get the tire fixed, but I'm so shocked by how cheap the repair is that in gratitude I feel compelled to pay both the mechanic and the tire fitter twice the amount they asked for. The south of Morocco stretches into the Sahara, so I think I should take the opportunity to do some sort of desert riding there. The Sahara is the world's largest desert, and Berbers used to have their empires here, but today it is inhabited mainly by the Tuareg. Far from being arid, the Canary Current coming from the Atlantic brings in sufficient moisture to sustain plants and basic agriculture here. The town I'm heading for is called Aglu Plage, located on the shore to the Atlantic. The distance to be covered to the ruins will not be possible due to the punctual delay this morning, but let's see how far I get. Aglu Plage is a seaside resort popular amongst tourists and property hunters. It is a pretty laid-back, relaxed and insignificant town, making it a perfect retreat from the mad rush of today's life. Tourism is its main industry. I guess due to my flat tire today, this is as far as I'll be going. There's something about the ocean and the seas that really make you contemplate and think about things. Just listening to the waves, very relaxing. But don't think too much. Our efforts, project and motorcycle ride were always going to be in support of UNICEF's Pakistan Flood Children's Appeal, and we managed to raise over £1,200. We are very grateful to all those who have donated and supported us. Back at Jua Tours, I returned to Tenere, and with the closing of the garage doors, my riding in Morocco comes to a sad end, but one accompanied by a sense of achievement.